I, 29M, was warned not to marry my girlfriend, 28F, by her best friend. What now? I've been with my girlfriend for 3 years, and I've been planning to propose in the next couple of months. Recently, we had a group of her friends over, and I decided to share my plans with one of her best friends. For context, her best friend is a gay man who's been in a committed relationship for 8 years. Their relationship seems stable, and while they're not married, they treat it as if they are. He's also very blunt. He tends to speak his mind even when it causes tension, and he's not great at sugarcoating things to avoid awkwardness. So, when I told him about my plan to propose, he looked a bit uncomfortable. He said, "Good luck," while glancing around like he wanted to leave. His reaction surprised me, so I asked if he had any tips or if there was something he wanted to get off his chest about me. He said he actually likes me and enjoys spending time with me, which made the situation more confusing. I asked him directly what was bothering him, thinking I could handle whatever he said. That's when he told me he had concerns, not about me, but about my girlfriend. According to him, she has a pattern of being emotionally distant in relationships. He said she's dated people more for convenience than genuine affection and that she only ever seemed truly excited about one guy in the past. Her excitement then was as simple as being eager to text him back or lighting up when he messaged her. He also pointed out that she still talks about her exes a lot, even though she doesn't keep in touch with them. I've noticed this too. She'll bring up old conversations with exes and talk about them in surprising detail. He also mentioned that she hasn't been single for more than a year since before high school. While he admitted that might be hypocritical, since he's been with his boyfriend since high school, he said he believes she sometimes confuses romantic relationships with emotional support systems. That hit home for me because during our first year together, I actually wondered if she was in love with him. I eventually dropped that thought after spending more time around him and realizing how committed he is to his boyfriend, and quite frankly he is very gay. But the behaviors that raised my suspicions, her emotional dependence on him, only stopped after he established stronger boundaries. I remember a year into our relationship my girlfriend got upset that he stopped coming over to comfort her after his boyfriend moved in full-time. They had an argument, and he apparently admitted that her lack of boundaries was part of the reason he pulled back. Sometimes she would even sleep over at his place, which always struck me as odd. Those were the kinds of things I thought I should be doing as her partner. What surprised me is that she's never been overly clingy with me. If anything, she's independent and sometimes distant. But with him, she had a strong emotional reliance. What started as me sharing exciting news turned into a conversation that left me feeling uncertain. I love my girlfriend, but her friend made some valid points that are now weighing on me. His comments echoed some things I had noticed but hadn't fully processed. Now I'm left wondering, why would he bring all this up? Was he trying to protect me, or was this crossing a line? Do I talk to my girlfriend about this? If I do, and she finds out what he said, what does that mean for their friendship, or for mine with her? Does she have a right to know her friend shared this with me? Too long did not read. I told my girlfriend's best friend I was planning to propose. He reacted awkwardly and eventually shared concerns about her emotional patterns in past relationships, like being distant, dating for convenience, and relying heavily on him for support. His comments made me question things I had noticed too. Now I'm unsure if I should talk to her about it, and I'm conflicted about whether she should know what her friend said. Personally, I'd maybe note this guy's advice, but you should make this decision really based on your experience and relationship. Like if his advice really hit home, then maybe bring up what you're worried or feeling to her. You have been dating for 3 years. If you don't fully agree with him, then maybe think on it some more if it's worth bringing up. I think it's somewhat normal to rely on friends in some emotional way. How is your relationship otherwise? Were there other issues that worried you before this? What worries me the most about your post is the fact that the friend's observations about your girlfriend actually align with what you have seen and lived yourself, so he's not making it up or sabotaging your relationship for the fun of it. You have to determine if she's the person for you, if she loves you as much as you love her, if she's capable of giving you what you need in the long term. He told you those things because you asked him. Please don't tell her that's just gonna end up bad for everyone. You have been for 3 years and she still brings up exes as crazy, and it says a lot if somebody else notices it also. Just sit and think about this in your decision. I mean, you were planning on marrying her with already knowing the things he confirmed. Lol. A few things here. First, if what he said has validity, i.e., he was making good points, his intentions aren't relevant. Next, if his concerns are now your concerns, monitor them for a little before you pop the question. I'd also encourage you to have some pre-marriage conversations about values. I made the mistake of assuming alignment in my first marriage. Finally, if she's talking about her exes still, it could mean a whole host of things. It could be that she's still hung up on them, but there's an equal chance that she's still afraid of repeating the same mistake as was made with said individual. You're gonna need to assess what's going on there. Yes, counseling could help too, but I would try to get a better handle on the situation before you go there. Actually, he sounds more like your friend than hers. Kudos to him for giving you a heads up on her past relationships, especially her holding on emotionally to exes and him. You can see from her reactions with you that she is not as emotionally invested in you as she is in others. This is problematic. I would not propose to this woman at this time, but perhaps pay closer attention to her actions around others and her obsession with her exes. Good luck. If what he said rang similar experiences you had with her, maybe you should consider things first. Like tell your GF, I see a future with you, but can we have premarital counseling first? So you two can work out your dynamic. It will either result to you and your girlfriend having a stronger bond for future marriage, or come into terms that you two aren't compatible for a married relationship. Husband, 26M, told me, 26F, that we're in major credit card debt. Is this salvageable? Last night my husband was sitting on the couch, randomly burst into tears and announced we're in major credit card debt, $27,000. We've been married for 6 years, for 4 of those have been a stay-at-home mom for our 2 kids, 4M, 2M. At first I laughed because I thought he was gonna tell me something worse when I saw him crying like that, but then it began to really sink in. I began to realize how helpless I am in this situation and I wanted to throw up. I can't get a job, my husband's work schedule is insanely random, daycare is way too expensive and his mother-in-law refuses to watch the kids despite not having a job. I already was frugal. I already only went out on girls' nights maybe once a month. And I'm insanely depressed that my last bit of being able to socialize was stripped away from me, along with the small comforts I have. Being able to buy a coffee or snack 2-3 times a week while I'm out with the kids. He was really surprised I didn't divorce him, but I don't think he realizes I am literally stuck with him at this point. I have 0 options outside of just sitting and suffering for the next 2 years while we pay this off. I love him, he's the only man for me, quite honestly. But the idea of not getting to celebrate my kids' birthdays or Christmas for the next 2 years has made me really resentful towards him. I'm trying my best to pick up side gigs and just getting so fucking upset at the thought that every dollar I make, no matter how hard I work, is going towards fixing his problems while I have to be isolated at home pinching pennies. I'm especially upset because I've literally asked him how we were financially several times over the past few months. He has all the apps on his phone and we don't get physical mail for the bills. And he always assured me we were okay. He let me lie to our 4-year-old and get him excited to go camping for the past 2 months. I think he just completely ruined my perception of him and I no longer trust him to take care of our family, but I'm also firmly stuck in this position. I really want to stay married to him, but I don't know how I can't truly love someone who I have this little faith in. Page S, the debt is just accumulated stupid purchases he made, nothing nefarious. Stupid purchases he made, nothing nefarious. Friend, the lying is nefarious. He got you into this, but he still controls the finances? No ma'am. Push him to take this more seriously. What of his stupid purchases is he going to return or sell? What changes is he making in his life to ensure it doesn't happen again? What is his plan to rebuild your trust? Paper bills? Back in play? Credit cards? On ice. I'm so sorry that you've been stuck in this position. Agree with the other commenters that you need access to every account. You need to do a full review of your finances. What income comes in? What are your bills? Then create a budget around what you have and plan to pay off the debt. His hiding this from you is big, but you need to understand exactly what that $27,000 was spent on. The debt is bad enough, but if it has been spent on frivolous things for himself without regard for your family's well-being, then that's another issue altogether. As the spouse and an adult in the relationship, always have access to the financial apps and information. You have equal say as a stay-at-home mom, which is a more than full-time job, in where the money goes and how things are spent. He sounds like he needs to take some classes on financial literacy and work with a debt counselor. Be present with those conversations, get on all the apps, and take an active role in being a financial team. Your mother-in-law has every right to not want to babysit your children. You stated she refuses. I would too. You chose to have children, she didn't. All the other advice is very good about getting your finances in order. What did he spend it on? Also, grandparents don't have to babysit even when unemployed. Get financial counseling. Demand access to all accounts. Can he find a job with more stable hours so you can get a job? Get your own account and start putting money away. Never rely on a man for money. Found out spouse was hiding huge debt. 39F and 37M. Married 10 years, together 12. 39F and 37M. The other day, I watched on our video cameras as my husband was served papers for a lawsuit. He told me it was for a loan he had received, and things have just spiraled since then. I've always trusted him to do the finances. I make a low 6 figures and turn all of my money over to him to pay bills. He also makes good money, but we struggled during COVID with job loss and he had to take a job paying very little. He now makes the same as I do. I found out we are $130,000 in debt. I had no idea. I knew we had put a few things on a credit card, but I didn't know we had 12 maxed out cards. I don't even know what all this money was spent on. I feel so absolutely betrayed. I'm scared that we will never recover from this. I can't trust him anymore. What's the best thing I can do for myself and my 3 kids? First step, get your own account and immediately have your salary routed there. You will now be paying all bills that involve the household and children. He needs to figure out how he plans to fix this mess he has created. Maybe a second job or a different job paying more. He needs to come clean and give you the full picture statements, transactions, balances for all of these accounts. Are you on all of these credit cards? I don't know if there's coming back from this. Financial infidelity would be a deal breaker for many otherwise rock-solid relationships. This is a giant hole that may be very hard to recover from, but it can be done. What the hell did he take a loan out for and how much? Stop giving him your money. You take his money and handle the finances. I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just curious. Why did you turn all of your money over to him? You need to find out where that $130,000 went. I suspect financial infidelity isn't the only hidden issue. WTF is today? How can you not check your bills like ever? Not track your investments? Yes, you were betrayed big time. Huge. Now you have to make a plan to get out of it. Most probably you would be responsible for debts since you married, but check on local laws. And you most probably will have to pay husband needs a better job and side job, expenses cut, and so on. If he took out credit card in your name, that's fraud. You might need to call the police in order to get your name cleared. 19 female, think my boyfriend, 22 males, kinks are going too far. What do you guys think? So me and my boyfriend explore lots of kinks together, but lately I feel like he's JJST been straight up degrading and violating me. Even though I said I don't like this, he pisses inside me, and when I get upset at him he says he couldn't help it cause he was coming too. He's also lately really into me playing a dog. He has put a leash and collar on me a couple of times while I've been asleep, and once when we were having sex on our patio he said he wanted me to walk around on all fours and piss on the grass. I have expressed that I don't like this playing animal kink and piss kink, but he keeps pressuring me. We were also using nipple clamps on me for the first time, and he pressed them too tight, to the point I was practically crying because of the pain, but instead of helping me take them off, he used the chain as like a leash and pulled me, as if he was walking a dog. There's also some more stuff if you guys want to hear it, but I don't want to make this too long. What's the best way to approach this situation? This is abuse. Kinks without consent is straight up abuse. You do not deserve to be degraded against your will, and this will only get worse the longer you stay. He gets off on degrading you and treating you like an animal. The best way to approach this is to break up with him and find a partner who respects you in and out of the bedroom. By breaking up and getting a partner who respects boundaries, he is sexually abusing you and he has no intentions of stopping. You need to show yourself the respect that he doesn't and get out of this relationship. If you said no, then it is too far. I think that this is the time for you to put this relationship behind you. What he is doing is abusive. He has shown that he doesn't respect you, and it sounds like he is very capable of taking it further. Do you guys live together? If you do you have anywhere else to stay or able to kick him out? Oh my, urination inside you is so unhygienic and can cause infection. There is so much bacteria in urine. He's degrading you and not respecting your boundaries. Time to leave him because it will only get worse. You know it's okay not to be into kink. It doesn't say anything about your sexuality. There are so many variations of kink and this is not for you. And in the kink community there is something called aftercare. So he's not listening to your boundaries and the aftercare is non-existent. Recipe for disaster on what could harm your mental health. Even my old ass when I was exploring kink learned my likes and dislikes and had some truly unpleasant experiences because I wasn't informed enough. Please leave this situation, baby. Go define kink and sex on your own terms. BTW, a real dom, loves and respects women ultimately.